Hey, welcome to another episode, and today we're going to talk about small-scale manufacturing in our series, ranking the most affordable to the most expensive production costs or production availability in Kenya. So today we're going to talk about small-scale manufacturing. Small-scale manufacturing may not be as small as the word says, but if you've watched the previous videos, this one is the next step. And it's at another level. So basically you have established a good bulk production products, basically clothes that you are producing in bulk that generally do well. And by the time you're reaching this level, you are always selling your designs. You know that they will sell. They might take a while to sell, maybe because of the time and season, but they sell. So you're doing small batch manufacturing, small scale manufacturing. You could be in an export processing zone. You may not be doing as big a facility as the very big exporters, but you could also still have that. There is a system, everything is working. You may have your fabrics made, or you've outsourced it even to a bigger manufacturer to make it for you in bulk, because sometimes also it's wise to cut costs. You don't have to do everything in-house. But by then you already know, you already have your signature prints, you already have your signature looks, you already know what sells. You could also still decide at this stage to manufacture for other people, so you'll be able to do that. You could start small and then continue growing. It really just depends on your goal. There are people who at this stage of small batch, they focus a lot on things like, in Kenya, uniforms are very popular, whether it's uniforms for schools or uniforms for workwear or whatever uniforms people need. This is a stage where a lot of people really scale their sewing and production businesses. A lot of people at this stage also sometimes stop manufacturing their own brands, if that's how they had started, and they are focusing on just manufacturing for other people and attending trade shows to be able to get those orders, offering the service, because on the whole continent it's not very easy to get people who can do international standard production levels, because of, it's not because the skill is not there, but sometimes the education is not there to be able to teach the person to upskill, because it's just about upskilling and getting people to reach the international standard level of production. And also because the manufacturing for apparel and textiles on the continent can be very wanting. We have not reached the levels of China and India that manufacture for billions and billions of people. So we still import a lot of our raw materials from them. So that's why sometimes there's that disconnect. But yeah, you need millions for this one, and for sure, even if you're outsourcing, you need to be able to pay your, because you're not relying on sales. You're not necessarily relying on a deposit. You have to have the money to produce these things and then rely on the sales to be able to continue doing this. Sometimes you need to get a loan to be able to fulfill orders and things like that. You could get an order from someone in bulk, and you actually sometimes have to get your own financing. It's very rare unless you have a relationship with someone who orders from you in bulk, especially from overseas, for them to fund it. Sometimes even if they fund it, they don't fund a very big percentage of it, so sometimes you need funding to fulfill orders. So by the time you reach here, you really have to know your stuff, and it's always better to just specialize in specific fabrics, specialize in specific techniques that you are known for, so that you can continue serving your customer. Definitely need millions over the budget, like 8 million going up for sure. You definitely need that. Sorry, I was cut off when I was finishing what I wanted to say. If this looks different, it's because this is a different day. But just to continue, you definitely need upwards of 8 million for this specific sector. 8 million is like the minimum, and of course, in my head, I'm assuming that you are building up on your business. I know there are people who have a lot of money and just start their small batch manufacturing and they just go with it and are able to finance it. But I always think that it's important to start small and build towards it, so that you can actually know if it's worth investing all this money into a business like this. Because if you shut down manufacturing business or your fashion business, it's a lot you're losing. You're losing all your equipment, you're losing all your skilled staff, you're losing materials. There's so much outside of just the emotional toll it takes on you as a business owner. There's a lot of jobs at stake, and there's a lot at stake with money and everything. So it's always just good to know. I personally always vouch for start slowly and build up towards it. Thank you for watching this, and I guess I'll see you next time for the next one.